Okay, good morning, everybody. Great for you to join today. Start of the week, which was actually yesterday, but for today for school, we start of the week. What have you guys been doing yesterday? I wonder. Did you guys do anything fun on the 17th of August? No? Nothing fun? Nothing in particular? I kind of did. I don't know if that is weird or not, but I think it's kind of cool. We made a pie resembling our flag. So a pie, red and white, literally red and white. And I think with my kids, we played some games. There were all these questions about Indonesia, which I had a hard time answering. And we watched an Indonesian movie. So we were kind of the nationalists yesterday. I wonder what you did. Did any of you do something in particular for the 17th of August yesterday? For the independence? No response? No one? Oh.
Can you repeat your question, Miss?
What is that?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, like, did any of you do anything in specific for the 17th of August yesterday?
Not really. I mean, we have some kind of like particular race or like competition in my, house area. But then, I mean, we don't really go out because of the corona. So.
Right. Okay, with your family, did you do something with your family?
Nope.
Okay. That maybe we were fanatics or so, I don't know. This is actually the first time that my family really did that. So yeah, besides making the red and white pie and doing games and watching an Indonesian movie, it was quite Indonesian for me the whole day, which was nice because I learned things I never knew about Indonesia, and it honestly made me only respect our country more and love Indonesia more. Okay, well, anyways, let's be grateful. Grateful for being able to live here and being able to live in a free country. Yeah, God is good. Okay, we're going to continue with where we left off, which is reading 2. So last week, you had to do the pre-study, watch the video of reading 2, and do the activities in your textbook for reading and writing. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. After our Zoom meeting, you're going to do a post-test. That's a reading and writing post-test. It's not that many questions. It is graded. And I will open the link after our Zoom meeting and you can do it. Well, if you have another class coming up after mine, then you would have to wait until you're done with all your lessons today, and then you will do the post-test. Remember that your time is until 11 tonight, yeah? It's a class activity, so it has to be done within the time for today. Yeah, has to be done today. Okay, let's go to page 10. That's where we hit off. Okay, here we are. Reading 2, high school star hospitalized for eating disorder. Okay, every time when we start a section, whether that is reading and writing or listening and speaking, we always start off with vocabulary. So it's always looking at vocabulary as in what the word means, maybe the synonyms or antonyms, and then we also look at how the words work within a sentence and how the words work contextually. So looking at the words within a context, yeah? So in this case, the first question was, which words or phrases do you know the meanings of? So I told you in the video to look at the words and to try to figure out what it means. And if you don't know, you can also write down the Indonesian word in your book. That doesn't matter. What is important is that you excel and expand your vocabulary. Yeah. 2, can you use any of the words or phrases in a sentence? Now, I would like to hear one of you telling me the sentence you made with one of the words. And we're looking at Complications, we're looking at, okay, enormous pressure accomplished. And there's not one? No, that's it. Okay, who of you wants to try it out? Okay, you guys should have made that, so you just have to read the sentence you already made. Any volunteers, or should I just go over my list of names? List of names it is. Shelny. No, Phil, Shelny.
Yes, Miss.
Hi, can you give me a sentence with one of the bold-faced words?
Accomplished, maybe.
Yeah, can you make a sentence out of that?
She has the confidence of the accomplished athlete.
Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you. Awesome.
You're welcome.
Okay, one more. Gonna go to Dustin. Dustin, are you here?
Yes, me.
Hey, good morning, man. Can you make a
Morning.
sentence with one of the words?
Pressure.
Okay, go ahead.
The coach gave pressure to the students.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah?
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Okay, now you had to read the newspaper article about a high school gymnast. Now, in the video, I teach important things. I teach them the reading strategies. I'm teaching you about writing. So it is really important that you watch the video. Now, in the video, I must have told you also about the reading strategies. So one of the strategies super important is previewing. Yeah, just as a review, previewing, when we preview, we predict the topic and the type of text. We predict the type of text and the purpose of the text. So when we predict, we look at the title, and if there are subheadings, we look at those, or also called headers. And we'll look at visuals if it has any. And by doing that, we basically can predict what type of text it is, and from there we can predict what purpose that text has. And why is that important? Well, also knowing the topic of the text is important for us to know what to focus on, what to read for. If you jump into a text without having that preparation, much of the text will not really be registered. It is hard for you to follow. Halfway through, you go like, what did I read just now? And you kind of have to reread everything again. So it is important that you predict first. Yeah. So by looking at the title here, high school star hospitalized for eating disorder, we already know that there is a problem with one person. Somebody who probably is an athlete or something, had a problem because they didn't eat. In this case, we can know it is either an article or an essay, but then when we look at it, looking at the title, writing about someone, about something that has happened, it will lead us into believing that it is a newspaper article. A newspaper article mostly also always has a date, and it always has what is that? It shows evidence through having testimonies. So people who were there, witnesses, eyewitnesses or whatever. So it's always mentioned, like here, for example, Coach Cole says, like, blah, 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 blah. There are always people involved who give a testimony to prove what has happened. Yeah. Now, an article mostly is written with headings. In this case, a newspaper article mostly doesn't have headings, and it's just without the headers. Okay, and an article is always to give information. Now, if you're looking at a newspaper article does not just give information, but it definitely reports on something that has happened recently. Yeah, so an event that has happened. Okay, and the second thing I talked about was skimming. It is also very important as a reading strategy to skim your text. When we skim, basically, we'll look for the general main idea of the text, and we do that by reading the introductory paragraph, every first sentence of every body paragraph, which is called topic sentence, and reading the concluding paragraph at the end. And with that, you can basically come up with a general main idea of the text, what the text is about, even stating it in one sentence. Are there any questions about that? No? Okay, then we continue with the comprehension. So simple comprehension questions about the text. Circle the best answer to complete. Okay, we're just gonna go into the answers, seeing how you guys did this, and who answers can also straight away annotate if you know how it works. We go to number 1. Ashley's coach hopes that she will leave the hospital. And what did it say, A or B? Who would like to answer? Ivana, would you like to try?
I think it's A.
Yes, it is. Focus on her health. Can you annotate that?
Wait, I'll try.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, thank you. Okay, 2, anorexia nervosa is an obsession with. Who would like to answer that one? Or I'm gonna come up with names. Let's go with names. Abraham, Theo, are you here?
Yes, Miss.
Hi, good morning. Can you do number 2?
Exercise.
It's an obsession with weight, actually. It's an obsession with weight. So you have a hard time eating because you always think that you're too fat. So you always want to, you don't want to eat because you want to be super skinny. Okay, thank you for your answer. Can you annotate that? Or are you confused with that?
No, I'm not.
Okay, please go ahead. The B. Okay, sir, thank you. Interesting circle that is, eh? Love that. You can actually go to draw and then you have the option of circle. Well, I like this too. Okay, 3. One reason for becoming anorexic is that it gives you a feeling of, who would like to answer that one? Okay, it's kind of quiet today. Grace, can you answer that one? Grace?
Number 3.
Yes.
Reason for becoming anorexic is that it gives you a feeling of subject to, I don't know, mental focus, more control, more control maybe.
Yes, more control. Please circle that one.
Circle.
Yeah, do you know how to annotate that?
No.
Go to the option. You have an option somewhere in your settings, somewhere there in your screen. Do you have an option to annotate? It's confusing? Okay, I'll do it for you then.
Yes.
Oh, circle. Okay. It's a very small circle. Okay, we go to number 4. Some of the pressure in Ashley's life was because she wanted to be the best gymnast in. Who would like to answer that one? Yolanda? Yolanda, are you in today? For the class secretary, please do not forget to write down who's absent and who's late, yeah? Very important to also know who is late today.
Yes, Miss.
Okay, who's this?
Number 4.
Yeah.
A. Her country.
Yeah, it is B actually. Some of the pressure in Ash's life was because she wanted to be the best gymnast in the world. She wanted to be the best in the whole wide world. Thank you for trying out though. appreciate it big time. But it basically she wanted to be the best in the world. She had her mind set on greater achievement, basically. Yeah. Okay, what about number 5? Before she went to the hospital, her coach had been pushing her to focus on gymnastics. Joyce, can you try that one?
A, less.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Can you annotate it?
Yep.
Okay, in comprehension, we basically, for the comprehension, as I think also already mentioned in my video, it's very important that you do annotating, that you underline, circle, or highlight the keywords in the question and in the answer choices. Thank you, Joyce. And that you then, that it makes it easier for you to go back into the text and scan it. Now that brings us to one of the other strategies of reading, which is scanning, meaning that you go over the text. Basically, you're not reading it, you're just going over the text in order to find a specific keyword or a key phrase that will help you find the meaning. So if you were to go over a text, wait, let me clear all first, go to the former page. If I am scanning the text, I would just basically go over until I find a specific point. Blah. Let's say this is what I need to know. This is what is correlated to my question. Then I go back to the beginning of the paragraph. I start reading from the beginning of the paragraph past the part that I know there is my answer and read it until the end of the paragraph. And then I will know how to answer. You always have to get the context. Do not just look at one sentence or one word. Always read then from the beginning of the paragraph until the end, and then decide what the answer is. Okay, that is when you scan. When you skim, yeah, you really read the first paragraph, you read the first sentence, which is the topic sentence of every paragraph, and you read the last paragraph, which is supposedly the concluding paragraph. Now, some texts that we look at do not have a concluding paragraph. If that's the case, it's not because they forgot, but it's just because sometimes texts that they use are not complete text. They're excerpts, and excerpt means it's just a part of a complete text. So they just take a smaller part. That is an excerpt. And sometimes they do not include the concluding paragraph. Okay, that brings us to another reading skill. Here, you were asked to read a statement from reading 2 again and then answer the question. Ashley had hopes of qualifying for the Olympics, but her health comes first, of course. Once she's better, I'm sure she can get back into the sport and go for the gold. Now, who is speaking here? Who can tell me who's talking here? Oh, come on, people. Who is speaking here?
Can I try it, Miss?
Yeah, okay, Shani.
I think that's not Ashley. As we can see from the way of writing, it shows that it wasn't Ashley who spoke. For example, you say her health comes first.
Yes, very good. So who is it that's speaking here? What do you think? It's not the girl, right? That's correct. So the one who is speaking here is the narrator, yeah?
Yeah.
The writer, yeah. The narrator, the writing, yeah. Or yeah, in this case, the person who wrote it, but not Ashley herself. And is it Ashley? It's okay. So how, and you know it because the name Ashley is mentioned here. That's what you said? Mostly how we know that a narrator or the person who's writing the story is talking is because it uses the third person point of view. So the third person point of view is when you mention the names of the people. Because the first person point of view, you're saying I, me, mine. Yeah? Then the main character is telling the story by him or herself. But if it's the third person point of view, then the narrator is the one telling the story, and then you will use the names of the people and he and she, like that. Okay, cool. Recognizing quotations and reported speech. Now, the difference between quotation and reported speech. This goes back also to something you might know as direct and indirect. So direct speech is the same as quotation, and indirect speech is the same as reported speech. So when we quote something, we're using the exact same words of what someone has said, and therefore we need to use a quote. We need to use quotation marks. And for reported speech, we're basically reporting what someone has said, but we're not using the exact words, and we need to use a reporting verb for that. Now, in a news article, both are used because we're talking and mentioning, talking about what someone has said. So quotation includes quotation marks, indicates a person's exact words, right? So for example, here you have the quotation marks. It's really a loss, not only to the team, but also to Ashley personally, comma, because we're not done yet, but you end the quote with quotation marks because the quote is finished. The quote is done, but the sentence isn't done yet, so you have to put the comma before the quotation marks. See that? Says Coil, and then you got the period. Now, reported speech does not include quotation marks and is an explanation of what someone has said. So it's not the exact words, but just an explanation. In reported speech, different words may be used to express the original meaning. For instance, her coach, Diana Cole, says that she will not be returning to the gymnastics team this season. Says. This is the reporting verb. You have a lot of different reporting for says, said, told, tells, a whole lot of different ones. So you have to use a reporting verb. Now, most news articles include the names of several people because you're talking about an event that has happened. As you read news articles, it is important to pay attention to the names of people and also the pronouns that refer to the people, she, he, her, his, and so on. So this will help you to keep track of what people in the article have done and said. As a result, you will understand the article more clearly. So using pronouns, before a pronoun is used, the subject is always mentioned first. So the woman, the boy, or the specific name of a person, and then you get the pronoun he or she. Yeah, you never start with a pronoun. You always have to use the subject clearly first. You always have to mention the name of the person first, and then you can use a pronoun afterward. And that means that the pronoun refers to the person. So it has kaitan. Yeah. So if there is also a question about what does this pronoun refer to, remember that it always goes back to what was mentioned before the pronoun. Okay? Are there any questions about this?
No, Miss.
No? Does everybody understand what the difference between quotation and reported speech? I want to make a quick, I'm going to quickly check in your ebook. In your ebook, you already have the summary for this. Let me see. Okay, yeah, in your ebook under reading 2, I made a table in which I made a summary for this, explaining what quotations are and what reported speech is, event diagram, and what synthesizing is. And there I wrote down the reporting verbs such as said, says, told, tells, etc. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, that brings us to activity 2. Work with the partner to answer the questions about reading 2. Read paragraph 2. Is this quotation or reported speech? Which one is it?
Quotation.
Yeah, it's a quotation. Very good. All right. A quotation, yeah. Who is speaking in paragraph 3, people? Who wants to try?
Dr. Paula Kim.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Can you guys annotate that? Or is that confusing? Wait. Let me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wasn't confused at first between the quotation and the reported speech, but now that it's not my answer,
Okay. Now that it's.
I'm confused now.
You're confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your exact question? Can you give me the question? Your specific question. What are you confused about?
I thought quotation was supposed to be like the person's exact words, and the reported speech was from the third person.
Yeah, that's correct.
But like number one, how is that quotation though?
Okay, let me show. If I go back with this, then I have to erase my annotation. So if you can flip your page to page 10, and you go to the second paragraph, it starts with a quotation. It's really a loss not only to the team, but also to Ashley personally, says Coyle.
Oh, so like that depends on that quotation marks.
Yeah, exactly. So this paragraph 2 starts off with the quotation, and then it continues. Yeah, this is a says Cole. Then there's the second quotation. She had hopes of qualifying for the Olympics, but her health comes first. Of course, once she's better, I'm sure she can get back into the sports and go for the gold. Another quotation mark. So basically, in paragraph 2, there are 2 quotation marks.
Okay.
2 quotations. This whole paragraph consists of 2 quotations. Yeah, so how can you recognize that? You recognize that from the quotation marks. So even in a quotation mark, in this case, I understand your question right now, because in if you look at the second one, the first one, it says it's really a loss not only to the team, right? But it uses Ashley, the name. And in the second quotation mark, it uses she. So you would think by using the pronoun like that, that it would not be a quotation, but it is still. Yeah, it is still. Because a quotation is not so much on, it doesn't always use I can quote someone else, what someone else has said, and then I could say, for example, and Professor Johnson stated, and I quote, be a professional worker, end quote, for example. Then I would not use any name and I would not use a pronoun. But there are quotations where you can use a pronoun or a name.
So does paragraph 4 also apply for quotation?
Starts with a quotation. For the anorexic, the mental focus becomes very small, food weight in a way, until the end. Yes, this whole paragraph is a quotation then.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I understand now.
Awesome. I'm glad you asked this, because basically by you asking, it reminds me of pointing out that sometimes quotations can even have the mentioning of names, specific names of people, and or even pronouns. And we're so used to think of quotations as just, you know, a sentence someone makes without mentioning a name or a pronoun. That's where you got confused, I think. Yeah, but it's really good that you asked. Thank you for pointing that one out. So basically, if you want to make sure a quotation is always marked by quotation marks, it always starts with a quotation mark and always ends with a quotation mark. So in this case, if it has quotation marks, it's a quote. Okay. Reported speech never ever uses that. We go to number 3. Read paragraph 5. Is this a quotation or reported speech? What about paragraph 5, people?
I'd say reported speech.
Yeah, definitely. Because it really doesn't have quotation marks, right? Yeah. Okay, number 4. Who is speaking in paragraph 6? Who can do that one? Let me see. I want to ask Natalia.
Yes, Miss.
Hi, good morning. Can you answer number 4? Who is speaking in paragraph 6?
I think Ashley coach. Her coach.
Not her coach, but someone else. Not coach.
Lisa Rodriguez. Lisa.
Yes. Good. And do you guys know what Lisa was?
It's the high school counselor.
Yep, it's the high school counselor, yeah. It's a very hard name. Rodriguez. Something like that, yeah. The high school counselor, Lisa Rodriguez. Read paragraph 8. Is this a quotation or reported speech? Would like to try? I'm gonna ask Bima. Bima, are you here?
Bima is absent, Miss.
Oh, right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Let me see. What about Jeremiah? Jeremiah?
Miss.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hi.
miss.
Good morning. Can you do number 5? Paragraph 8. Quotation or reported speech. What do you think? Is it a quotation or pre-reported speech?
Reported.
Look at paragraph 8. Go back a page in your book. Look at paragraph 8. Coach Coyle says, as soon as I met Ashley, I would tell right away, blah, 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 blah. Are there quotation marks or not? Do you see quotation marks in paragraph 8? Yes or no? Yes or no? Hello?
There's a quotation marks, Miss, but like it starts with. It didn't start with the quotation marks.
It doesn't have to start with a quotation mark. This is definitely quoted because it says Coach Coyle says. A quote, yeah, a quote always starts with either that. A quote can start straight away as a quote, like as soon as I met Ashley, blah, 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 said, blah, blah, blah. But you can also start Coach Coyle says, blah, 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 and then it's the quote until the end. Or you start with the quote and who stated the quote can be mentioned at the end. So either the person who said the quote plus the reporting verb or the quotation verb like says can be at the beginning before the quotation or can come at the end basically. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but like how about,
Yeah, miss.
let's say the quotation was in the middle of the paragraph. Does that count as a quotation or the reported speech?
Well, if it has both, means it's both, right? It has reported and quoted. In this case, paragraph 8 is only a quotation.
Okay.
Yeah, paragraph 8 is only a quotation, paragraph 2 is only a quotation, and paragraph 5 is only reported speech. Yeah, if it has both, yeah, then we would have to circle both, basically. In the same paragraph, who is being referred to by pronouns her and their? Who can answer number 6? Okay, I'm gonna ask Devon, Julian, are you here? Devon, Julian? No. Okay, what about Amanda?
Yes, Miss.
Can you answer number 6?
Her is Ashley Jones. There is her team members.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, so we've got her for Ashley, yeah? And her there. Yep. Yeah. So her is Ashley Jones, and there is referred to the team members that she has. Awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, did you guys get this? Note this down. Please check your answers with these answers. Like, is it similar or not? Does anyone still have a question? No? Okay, cool then. Then we're gonna go to the next page. Okay, this is the part where we connect the readings. And the part of connecting the readings is very important because in either we connect readings or we connect the listenings. This is the part where we're learning to gather information. We gather information from both parts, from reading 1, reading 2. And then that information that we get, we use to create something new. And that is called synthesizing, the usage of multiple sources in order to create something new. Now, the first step there for organizing, here you have a Venn diagram. Venn diagrams are mostly always used to show comparison and contrast. So in comparison and contrast, we're looking at the similarities and differences. Now, in a Venn diagram, the similarities always come in the middle. This is the part where the two circles overlap. And then the other parts, the outside parts, left and right, will show the differences. Yeah. Now you have to fill out the list. So let's go. Looking at the characteristics here, all the bullets that we have placed here, you would have to place them here either under Alex Honnold or under Ashley Jones and see which ones are in the middle that they both have. Now I'm going to start with Carissa Maharani. Carissa?
Yeah, Miss.
Can you tell me what comes under Alex Honnold? Enjoyment of sport. What else?
Is it fearless?
Fearless. Yeah. Awesome. What else?
Obsession leads success.
That one. It's funny you say that. That one comes here basically.
Oh.
No problem. No problem. No problem. Let me see. Yeah, you said obsession. Yeah. Uh-oh. Leads to success. Okay, obsession leads to success would come in the middle. What else can come in here? Thank you. Let me ask Natalia Jojo. Natalia, what else comes in here? The left side.
Family is supportive.
Yep. Okay, family is supportive. There's one more.
World seems beautiful.
Yep. Awesome. Correct. Okay, now what do we have under Ashley Jones? Rai, Made Rai, are you here? No? Interesting. Ivana?
Yes, Miss.
Can you tell me what comes under Ashley Jones? Competitive and then?
Wait. Determined. Oh, wait. Okay, wait.
Okay.
Obsession leads to illness.
Yes. leads to illness. Correct. What else? Do you know another one?
World seems scary.
Yep.
Family adds pressure.
Nope.
Obsession related to being perfect, or is that both?
Now that one goes here. Let me see. Obsession related. Oh wait. Related to being perfect. Yeah, that one would come here. Wait, let me make that. Like this. Did you guys have this? Wait, here there must be 4, yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4. Already 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. There's one more here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's already complete. There's one more. We're missing one more here. Family adds pressure. World seems scary. Obsession leads to illness. There's one more.
Need to feel in control, Miss.
Yeah, good. Need to feel in control. Next time you guys can fill it out. Yeah, no, I don't have to do that. Awesome. Okay, here you go. Let me see. Check what you've got. Yeah, like, did you get this or not? Basically, those are all the statements that were mentioned before or above. So these are the differences between Alex and Ashley, and these are the things that they have in common. That is based on both texts. Yes? Okay, cool. Let's go to the next page. That brings us to step 2, synthesizing. Now, in this part, you're supposed to complete the essay about obsession with what you know about Alex and Ashley, basically basing it on the Venn diagram in step 1. The information in the Venn diagram you could use to complete this talk or this essay, yeah? The short essay. Now let's see what we can come up with. Obsession can be helpful or destructive, depending on the person. This can be clearly seen in 2 examples from the sports world. Alex Honnold and Ashley Jones are both strongly focused. I'd like to hear from Michael. Michael Ferdinand, are you here?
Yes, Miss. Yes.
Okay, can you tell me what comes here? Because there's something that should come next to strongly focused. Do you know?
Focus.
You have to take it from the information from the Venn diagram. Do you see what I typed?
Yes.
Basically this one.
Their option. Let's do.
So the first one is their obsession leads to success in sports. What about in addition? Now you tell me what comes next to in addition.
In addition,
it's about obsession, right? There are 2 things that were said about obsession. So
in addition, obsession can be helpful or destructive.
Okay, no worries. Let me show you this. It's talking about both. This can be clearly seen to examples. Alex Honnold and Ashley Jones are both. Means this is the similarity. So you have to write down the similarity. Both, like you and I both, you and your friend are both students. Meaning that that is something you have in common. Now, if it is something you have in common, you need to look at your Venn diagram in the middle, what they have in common. Both shows that it is similar. So what are the 2 things we mentioned just now in the middle? Both, under both. First is their obsession leads to success in sports. Yeah, obsession leads to success. And what is the other one? Obsession Look at the Venn diagram. What is the second one? The last one we wrote down just now. Obsession related to?
Being perfect.
Yeah. Okay. It's all in your Venn diagram. We wrote it down just now, yeah? So the second one is their obsession is related to being perfect. Yeah, something like that. So from this sentence, what is the word, people, that shows us that we're talking about similarities? The keyword is both, right? Does that make sense if I say that? This word both shows us that we're talking about the similarities. Now, in this sentence, however, there are important differences between them. Which words here show us that it is different? The word however and the word differences. Yeah, these two keywords show us that it's different. So here what we will put in is Alex Honnold is a fearless rock climber. The world seems beautiful to him and his family is supportive. That is from the left side of the Venn diagram. Then we go to the right side of the Venn diagram. Ashley Jones is very competitive and needs to feel in control because the world seems scary and her family adds pressure on her. Also, her obsession leads to illness. Those are all the things that we mentioned just now. As we look at examples, it is interesting to see how obsession can either help or harm a person. So basically what we did was we used the information from the Venn diagram and placed the exact same information in this essay to make a complete short essay. Now, how did I know which information to put where? I had to pay attention to signal words. The signal word both means that that's the part they have in common. And however, if difference shows the differences they have. So I basically could just look back at my Venn diagram and know which information to put in where. Okay, guys, do you have any questions about this?
Miss, what comes after the words also?
Okay, Ashley Jones had a lot, yeah. So Ashley Jones is very competitive. Blah, blah. Also, her obsession leads to illness. It doesn't matter which comes there, as long as you've mentioned all five. So you have to mention that she's competitive, that she needs to feel in control, that the world seems scary, that her family adds pressure, and that obsession leads to illness. The 5 bullets that we wrote in the Venn diagram should come in here. So how you place it in what order doesn't matter. As long as you placed all, so you basically put 4 here, and then also is the number 5. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, like that. So that is what synthesizing is. You use information from sources and then put it all together to create something new. So basically you got the information from both texts, and with that information you created a short essay like that. Any questions, guys, about reading 2? Vocabulary used in context. Comprehension, we went over quotations and reported speech, right? When you go for this week, you will do your post-study, and your post-study, as always, is your ebook. So you will do the post-study about reading 2, and in your ebook, you will see a summary, so you can still go over the summary. And the last thing we did today was organizing and synthesizing. Awesome. That brings me to looking very clearly at our, what is that? Week schedule. Our schedule, where it is? Okay, here it is. So here when we look at our unit schedule and we look for our week, the schedule for this week, now we're looking at this one, yeah, number 5. And so yes, the Zoom meeting reading 2, you will do post test 1 today, which has to be done today. Meaning that this week you should focus on outlining your paragraph. You're writing 1 paragraph, only 1, which you should do in your journal. So you have to have done your brainstorm and then your research, and then you do your outlining this week. Your post study for your ebook, you will do reading 2 and your ebook for reading and writing. And for your pre-study, I will send you the video in a bit. That's the video. Focus on speaking. You do the activities in your textbook of listening and speaking, and it's the third part which is focused on speaking. That comes after listening to. Yeah. Any questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently, the teacher for the next class is not available for the Zoom meeting. So.
No, then you can do your post test straight away.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you guys remember, follow the schedule that I made. Follow the schedule for, you know, it shows you your pre-study, yeah, which is the video and your textbook, and it shows you the study, which is your Zoom meeting. It shows you the post-study, which is your post-study, which is your ebook, your pre-study, which is your textbook. Please follow it, and also the steps that I already organized for you for your project. If you pace this way, it is not that heavy, and you will be done. In the end, you don't have much to do. But if you don't follow this schedule, then probably the beginning of September, you'll get stressed because you have to finish everything. Okay? No, in this week, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me. Yeah. Also, look over the Zoom meetings. If you forgot something or you're confused, just rewatch the Zoom meetings because everything is there, and there is always a Zoom meeting posted. Yesterday, I already uploaded the Zoom meetings also for last week, so you can just rewatch it. Okay. Thank you very much. God bless you.